rape the father, they rape the brother, they rape the sister, they rape the auntie, they rape the auntie, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm, and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. It come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on side. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go in a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago, coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, we are live on Synergy Network from 7 to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday. We are also on Facebook Live, Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Also on YouTube, it's TT Real Talk. Subscribe, hit the bell, and you will know when we go live. So Trinidad and Tobago and of the Caribbean, around the world, a special good night to you. Those of you on YouTube and Facebook also. So we're going straight into our news tonight, viewers. The death of several babies at the Port of Spain General Hospital in April were linked to poor infection, prevention, and control, according to the PAHO report. So probably this is why the Northwest refused to pay for legal expertise, because they probably were afraid of what the end result might be. Now, the report rated the precautionary measures in the hospital neonatal intensive unit at just 29%, and it revealed that the death of the 7 babies were possibly related to the increase in cases of sepsis. While admitting to a low sample size, the report blamed an increase at the NICU mortality of newborns or neonates. The report listed 5 aspects of infection prevention control at the Port of Spain General Hospital, which were respectively rated at 29 to 80%. Among these, sad. Health Minister Terence Singh said, the strength identified in Port of Spain General Hospital is a presence of a decade or a dedicated IPC program and a knowledgeable team capable of identifying pathogens. The report said, TT's National Action Plan. Well, listen to this. Listen to this.
A significant strength identified in Port of Spain General Hospital is the presence of a dedicated IPC program. IPC simply means Infection Prevention Control, and a knowledgeable microbiology laboratory team capable of identifying pathogens. The commitment from both hospital administration and the national authorities to enhance IPC measures was clearly evident and commendable. Madam Speaker, I would also like to highlight another excerpt from the report on page 6, which reads, the Trinidad and Tobago National Action Plan on Antimicrobial Resistance for 2023-2027 aligns with the World Health Organization's Global Action Plan.
So if they have a strong team and they are aligned with the 2023 to 2027 global plan, how did these infections occur? I understand Terence would want to take for the Port of Spain General Hospital side, but at the end of the day, someone bigger than them did a thorough investigation. Yep. Singh said, since getting a report on June 21st, his ministry communicated and collaborated with PAHO via its country's office. Listen to this now.
The Ministry of Health and the Northwest Regional Health Authority, having gone through the report, inclusive of the findings and recommendations, note that many of the recommendations contained within the report were already integral parts of the national and regional standard operating procedure. We are of the view, however, there are certain findings that require urgent clarification. Since the receipt of the report on June 21, 2024, the Ministry has been actively communicating and collaborating with PAHO via its country office. This is to ensure that PAHO has the opportunity to address and resolve these concerns promptly, as the report anticipates the submission of additional data and information. Madam Speaker, we would like to take the opportunity to publicly thank the Pan American Health Organization for their continued technical cooperation and support and for their timely response to this matter of national importance.
Now, viewers, meanwhile, Attorney Anna Ramlogan have stated that head must roll in his response to the PAHO report and urge the chairman at the board of the Northwest Regional Health Authority be immediately fired and disciplinary action be taken against those responsible for the baby's death. He also lamented PAHO had not intervened that grieving mothers, but added that the report had still unearthed the tragedy of errors in the negligence and the care of babies. So viewers, we want to thank Anand Ramlogan tonight for his intervention on behalf of the mothers who lost their babies. So condolences to the mothers from Real Talk group of companies, and also congratulating Anand Ramlogan for stepping forward. So before we go any further, viewers, I want to congratulate Anjali Mungru from Rio Claro Hindu School for passing for Naparima Girls High School. She also was the most outstanding female for 2024 and was a valedictorian at the Rio Claro Hindu School. So to Anjali, my dear, congratulations to you on passing for your first choice. And may God grant you success in the coming weeks, months, and years. Caller, good night.
Good night, Said. Long time. The imitation vaccine reviewing. A couple of things.
Good night.
The NICU report. That person that called the Minister of Health, why dodging and Brixton for? He got a report and it was damning on the leadership of the hospital. A lot of things, if you read it, I've read it, and heads have to roll. You cannot keep those people responsible for cleaning and sanitizing on the job. The fact is, it has senior people to go. They interview everybody, what he's saying there, talk to this one and this one. Is he asks PAHO to help. The other thing, it have a chairman by the name of Nanga in Wassa. I hear he's spending $300,000 of my money to protect one of the brethren there. I don't know if it's male or female. On some sort of site for bullying in a fella up in UK who had some sort of relationship with a high judicial official. I want to know if he's offering the same sort of money or resources for the fella who died in the trench. I think he has an obligation.
That's the Wassa accident in South.
Right. He's supposed to give them, that family, some sort of assistance.
Correct,
and
yes.
also financial money to get a senior counselor to sue Wassa. Enter fella by the name of Cummins and go in suing the government. So, like for like. So, I want him to tell me now, the fella by the name of Nanga, who is the fella that's spending $300,000 to protect? Is he a board director? Is he a senior executive? Is he related to a government official? Why is he doing that? What is I then? I'm going to have a nice night.
Thank you, my friend. And for Wassa to spend $300,000 in an investigation, who's bringing back that money into Wassa? And what came out of the investigation? Is Wassa willing to make that public? What was the findings? What was the result that they had to spend $300,000 for? Yes, boy. The Minister of Finance have stated that it is extending by 1 month the time period for the Board of Inland Revenue to issue notice of assessment to property tax. Even as the main opposition, United National Congress, said it remains committed to fighting against the imposing of this unfair property tax. Finance Minister Clongenbert stated the time period has been extended from June 30th to July 31st, 2024. So we got 1 month grace. Well, not 1 month grace, but 1 month extension. He stated that this has become necessary to permit the Valuation Division to deliver notice of annual rental value and make appropriate adjustment to the ARVs where required, and for the Board of Inland Revenue to deliver revised notice of assessment for property tax at the reduced rate of 2% to residential land owners and occupiers not yet in receipt of same. Now, he said, this as of June 28, 2024, over 198,000 annual rental values and over 140,000 revised notice of assessment for property tax were dispatched through TT Post to deliver to residential landowners and occupiers. Previously, from the Revenue Authority explained the power of distraint. If property tax is not paid after 3 months, the board can seize your Chantel's item, something that is not attached to a property, television, fridge, couch, stove, bed, things like these. Now, after 5 years, if taxes are not paid, the board can sell your property to cover the tax. Listen to this.
After 3 months, the taxes, remember I told you the due date is September 30th. After 3 months, if you don't pay, the board, there's power for the board to exercise distress, to come and seize your chattel item, to sell to cover the taxes.
Wow.
Right? I'm not too sure, working at the Board of Inland Revenue then, they never used those provisions. There were sort of provisions like that, they never did. But remember, I know the TTRA, the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority, should be coming on stream, and I think they would want to be more compliant. So but there are all those powers for the Board of Inland Revenue. And after 5 years, if you don't pay the taxes, the law provides, the Property Tax Act, you could sell your property.
Wow.
To cover the taxes. That's how serious it is.
That's how serious it is if you decide not to pay your property tax.
Yes, but I don't think they will, they will prefer to work with you.
So the initial stage will be to sell the chattels. Now, I would like you to define what chattels are.
Well, it's anything that's not attached to the property. So, I suppose a home like a TV, a
refrigerator,
fridge, all those sorts of things, right? They can take, but wouldn't be things that are attached.
Okay.
So it's loose. Normally, I'm giving it is my natural understanding of it. Something that can easily be moved.
Okay, and then at the 5-year mark, you could possibly
that's
lose
what the
your
law
home.
provides.
That's what the law provides.
Yeah, it's not me saying this. I try to read the law, interpret it, and apply it, and give it that understanding. And that's when I saw it. I said, "Wow, this is serious." After 5 years, yes, you can.
According to the law, it could be exercised.
Yes, under the Property Tax Act, is stated there.
Okay, I got you.
So Trinidad and Tobago, get ready to call in. 2386716. Stay close to your phone. We're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, ask yourself if this is what you're voting for after this.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid upfront. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. So just a little reminder, Trinidad and Tobago, Real Talk is offering you 4% on a fixed deposit right here in Trinidad. The good thing about this fixed deposit, viewers, is you are getting your interest payment up front. So if you open a 1-year fixed deposit with us, at 2 years, at 3 years, at 5 years, at 10 years, you're getting your interest rate up front. You don't have to wait until your time frame or period is up. This is a new thing that Real Talk Finance and Investment Department have been doing in Trinidad. And thus far, we are leading. With the fixed deposit system in Trinidad and Tobago, we are leading presently. So if you want to invest your money, you want to make more money at the end, you want to make money, not a problem. I will show you how to make money. Remember, I'm a licensed money lender. I'm also the president of Real Talk Credit Union. I'm also the director of Real Talk Finance and Investment. So I know about making money. And this is why I want you now, with your hard-earned cash, I want you to make money also. Not just me, not just my company, but you also. You work hard. Are you going to let your money just slip away and go into thin air while you are getting little and nothing in other financial institutions? Think smart. Think interest. Think vacation up front. Think repair in your house. You don't have to wait. Remember that we are offering that at Real Talk. Be a member of the credit union. Open a savings account. Buy shares. Buy shares. Plan today so tomorrow would be better. I always say that. Also, I'm a spiritual consultant. You having any kind of spiritual problem, you can contact me also. And also, I have a record for sale. Viewers. I just remember that. I have a record for sale. Those of you looking to go into the wrecking industry, we have a record for sale. My beautiful record that I go car show with, it is up for sale. Now that record does not work for anyone. It does not work for anyone. This is my personal record that I built to carry my Benz when there's car show throughout Trinidad and Tobago. It is up for sale, viewers. Got it? Okay. So maybe later on in the program I will show you the record, but it is up for sale. You can contact me. For those of you who have seen it on Facebook, it's beautiful. Now, what do you think about you not paying your property tax for 3 months and they come and they seize your chattel? They come and they seize your TV, your fridge, your couch, your stove, your microwave, your PS2. How do you feel about this? Did you vote for this? Now, Clangenberg is pushing for the Revenue Authority to come on stream so that the board will have this power. Keep in mind, these ministers are exempted from these things. I want you to keep that in mind. Is you, the lower class citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, is going to face this. You know who will face this? The CPEP people. You know who will face this? The daily paid workers. You know who will face this? Those that inherit property from their grandfathers and grandmothers. The low end is going to feel this. Those in the middle class and all, you're going to feel it. Because if you live in a middle class life and you were fired from your job, which means you move from middle class to lower class, because you cannot stay in the middle class work anymore. How do you feel now? Are you going to say, great is the PNM? I am not a UNC member, I'm not a PNM member. I am just talking about the rights and the right thing as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
I'm calling from Canada.
Welcome, my dear.
And I would like to tell you to let Mr. Colin Imbert know, before that Property Act comes into effect, worms will crawl from every part of his anatomy.
Ooh. Thank you, my friend. That is not my words, even though I know how to make that happen. But nevertheless, is that what you voted for? I want you all now to say, great is the PNM. Cost of living going up. Electricity going up. Water going up. Food going up. Transport going up. And now property tax implementation on top of that. They might cut your seed up. You might have to pay for health care just now when you go to the hospital. And then you might not have a TV in your house now. Or when you work hard and you come home now, you may not have a couch for you to sit down. We're going back to long ago days. Remember the brown bag? The brown bag? You will cut the brown bag and spread it in the ground. Long ago they call it a pal to sit down on. But nevertheless, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has defended his two cabinet ministers and a MP against criticism after they were awarded the title of Senior Counsel on June 17th. Receiving silk, as it is referred to, where Minister of Energy and Industries Stuart Young and Minister of Local Government Faraz Al-Rawi and MP Keith Scotland. However, Dr. Rowley dismissed the criticism, saying those who received silk were qualified individuals. Caller, good night. The sticker got the click. Now, Rowley said, when others got silk, nobody accused him of political bias. But when qualified PNM members were made senior counsels, persons are claiming political bias on behalf of the PNM. Listen to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can't take them seriously. Last year, members of the legal profession got silk. Some of them were known UNC activists. One of them actually ran for the post of deputy chairman of the UNC last weekend. When they got silk, I didn't hear anybody accusing me of political bias. But when qualified PNM members of the profession, one who served as Attorney General for 5 years, had more law advanced to the Parliament than virtually any other Attorney General. The other one who fought on his legs to bring back millions of dollars to this country. When they were made senior counsel, I seen the political bias on behalf of the PNM.
Ignoring those comments, PM added that he was proud that the people of that quality found their way into PNM and demonstrate their worth on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Listen.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I ignore that as Eric Williams ignored the obstructions before. I am proud that people of that quality found their way into the PNM, demonstrated their worth on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. The one thing that you are sure of, that I as Prime Minister will never take silk. Ladies and gentlemen, some of them only deserve crocus bag and blue duck, talking about silk. But ladies and gentlemen, it appears as though when they get the silk, the system good. But if any PNM person gets it, the system bad.
Rowley said his 2 cents. The UNC members said their 2 cents. Paula, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead, you're live on Real Talk, my dear.
I am calling in putting in property tax. We don't have a problem because it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But the MTS workers, retirees haven't get their money for 2-3 years.
Okay.
So what will they pay property tax with?
I understand. I understand. Thank you so much, my friend, for highlighting the issue. The viewers, Minister of Trade, Paula Gopiskun, have defended Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and well-known India businessman and political figure Navin Jindal, describing the controversy surrounding his visit to the Prime Minister as whatever it means. Gopiskun said the opposition was seeking to make mayhem over Jindal's visit when he could be pivotal in bringing foreign direct investment to Trinidad and Tobago. She stated, "It tells you that instead of welcoming people into our country, the opposition is seeking to destroy."
So I've noticed what I could only describe as hullabaloo in the national press about Mr. Jindal's presence in Trinidad and Tobago. And I want to say that we welcome Mr. Jindal. The things said by the opposition in the national press is very disappointing. And it tells you that instead of welcoming people to our country, the opposition perhaps is seeking to destroy. It's very disappointing that the opposition would seek to make mayhem over the visit of someone who can really help us in Trinidad and Tobago by investing in our country.
Now, Paula Gopiskun, I just want to say this. I want to make this public. Nobody, I am not, being a businessman in Trinidad and Tobago, being the president of a credit union, being a licensed money lender, having a finance and investment company running. I also made investment in Guyana. I was investigated also. I have money lender's license for Guyana. I have Real Talk Finance and Investment set up in Guyana. Also, we're going to have Real Talk Credit Union in Guyana. And I was investigated also. Now, the thing is, I have no skeleton in the closet. Otherwise, I would have never been on national television. I would have never been. You understand? Now, bringing the investors into the country is not a problem. It is not a problem. If I had a bad track record in Trinidad, I would have never gotten my money lender's license in Guyana. I would have never been able to set up a company, Real Talk Equipment, plus Real Talk Finance and Investment in Guyana. So you have to understand, Minister of Trade, Paula Gopiskun, you have to understand its background. It is his background that is causing the controversial in Trinidad and Tobago. His background. And it's something you missing. Yes, I welcome Mr. Jindal into Trinidad and Tobago as wanting to purchase and operate the refinery. But one have to understand, he has a background which is being charged in his own country. And this is what Kamala is against. And that is where you're missing the point. Nothing wrong with him coming to Trinidad and investing. Nothing wrong with that. I welcome that. But you have to understand, it is his background people are looking at. His background. Jindal Steel and Power was among companies named as having secured benefit estimated at over $4 billion. Now, Gopi Schoon said in relation to the charges that legal challenges were a part of the nature of business. Oh my God, really? I didn't know that. Well, then a drug man from our next country could come and invest in Trinidad, even though he's a drug man in our next country. Serious, Gopi Schoon? Serious? I'll listen to this.
If you do your research, you would understand the wealth and capability of the Jindal family. And for instance, if you would look at the 10 top persons of wealth in India, the Jindal family would be there. Now, in the course of business, I will tell you, in the course of the life of any business, you would have challenges, legal challenges. That's the nature of business. You enter into contractual arrangements. Contractual arrangements are not necessarily all smooth. It's the reason why you have these cadre of lawyers and attorneys who can prepare to deal with such matters. So therefore, to assign that level of attention on one minor issue is really a wonder to us.
So Gopi Schoon, how come all that allow drug people from other countries to come and invest in Trinidad? I don't know, I'm just asking. I'm asking. How come we don't have drug man from Colombia or Venezuela, from cartels coming and buying big companies in Trinidad? How come you all ain't allow that? How come? You can't answer that. You would not answer that. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley have stated that he will meet with opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar regarding her concerns about the integrity of India businessman Mr. Jindal, but only if first she deal with the criminal charges facing her chief whip David Lee. So I wonder if David Lee wants to buy over a refinery in our next country. What about the PNM MP who went into a bank with $100 and something thousand and to this day they can't give an account for? Nobody has said nothing. Nobody has said nothing. What about somebody's stepdaughter who got caught up and we have seen nothing come out from that? What about that? Nobody has said nothing. You see, there's a saying goes like do so and like so. And that's what we just have in Trinidad and Tobago, and nobody is fixing the problem. Nobody. Responding to our citations from PM said he will ensure that the opposition leader does not undermine what the government of Trinidad and Tobago is doing for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Oh, let's listen to this.
Sorry, sir?
You seem to have a lot of time to waste with Mr. Rouget.
On the opposition leader would have asked, sir, how did you not know?
I will ensure that the opposition leader does not undermine and derail what the government of Trinidad and Tobago is doing for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. If she's so interested in Mr. Jindal charges, I will say, deal with David Lee charges first, and I'll talk to you about Jindal charges after.
So we see viewers, do so and like so. Do so and like so. So we're going for a commercial break, viewers, but when we come back, we're going to discuss Gopi Schoon after this.
throws you a curveball. And you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid upfront. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Now, viewers, what the Prime Minister was talking about, Lee was charged with one count of fraudulent obtaining tax exemption on the purchase of a vehicle and one count of conspiracy to defraud the state in September 2022. He was charged by an officer from the Financial Investigation Branch and was granted $1 million bail to cover both charges after he appeared in court. However, Pamela said there is no need for the PM to speak with her personally, as the only people he owes an explanation are citizens of this country. So this is what the back and forth is all about. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, businessmen coming to Trinidad, I would say you need to have a straight background. You need to have a straight background. Criminal charges, I mean, is something you don't want to have entering into a business agreement in a new country, especially where MPs is concerned, where government is concerned. That's just my 2 cents. The opposition has supported the government on the amendment on the bail bill, which was laid and passed unanimously during a sitting of the House of Representatives. Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar expressed her intention to support the bill, as she states that it is a bill which remedies some of the defects in the laws, which give us a balance. Listen to this.
This is not a garbage bill, by the way. This is a bill which remedies some of the deficiencies. As the Honorable Attorney General has indicated, it is a bill to remedy some of the defects in the law, which, because of the Achilles Chamber's judgment, does give us a balance of proportionality. So we are prepared to support it. And has nothing to do with rubbish, I tell you. Nothing to do with garbage. This has to do, as you say, in the public interest of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, I will tell you this, Trinidad and Tobago. she would support the bail bill. She would support the bail bill. But you want to criticize one of your MP for voting for a whistleblower bill. See how it is in politics? I will stand by Dr. Rai Ragbir and others, MPs, who supported the PNM government in the whistleblower bill. It's sad, you know. It's sad now to see her come on here and support this bill. This bill. But you're against her MP. It's sad. It's really sad. Are you a two-edged sword? I had to watch your tongue. I had to watch your tongue. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program as usual.
Thank you.
You explained this whole thing about this gentleman coming here so good. Man, you go to the head of the class, I give you full 100 points for that, Mr. Said. But the opposition leader, all she did was present the facts about this individual to the citizens, you know, so we could make good choices and know what we are getting into.
Correct.
But I wonder if the gentleman from India heard what the union leader, the WTU union leader said. He said, nobody is going to come here to take over that refinery. So he must pay attention to what this man is saying. This man was responsible to a great extent for the closure of ISPAT. When the workers there demanded the highest wages from ISPAT, you know. So we have to be careful what we are getting into, this gentleman and this country. I wonder if or maybe he liked this country and feel he could get through in this country, because this country is the land of bubble, corruption, thieving and underhand dealing, you know. Politicians don't like honesty in this country, you know. And he should know the biggest bubble takes place with the rental of property in this country and legal fees and state bribes to the lawyer friends and family. Mr. Sai, great program. God bless you. You keep up the great work.
Thank you, my friend. No, let me just, I want to explain something to earlier, but listen this carefully. The newly amended bail bill will make provision for restriction of bail for people charged with serious offense. The bill also provides that people charged under serious offense may also apply under exceptional circumstances. Facade business and knock the government for taking too long to approach Parliament, and question, why did the government take 2 years if they're concerned about crime? Now hold up on that video. Dr. Rai Ragbir voted with the PNM for the whistleblower bill. The whistleblower bill will go something like this. In a basket, say something, see something, the state will protect you. Good? Nice, we understand that. Now, in order for the police to hold a bandit who committed a serious crime, what you need? What you need? You need people to come forward. You need people to come forward. Unless you are caught red-handed in the act, well, then the police have all authority. But you need people to come forward and say, well, you know what? In the village where I live in, I hear John Doe commit that crime there. When police investigate now, by hearing what John Public say, John Doe gets hold. Yes. The Prime Minister always say, if you see something, say something. Police is always say, if you know somebody commit a crime, come forward, we will protect you. So the whistleblower now legislation now is just reinforced with a little this and that to protect you. What do you need? The people to come forward. Home invasion is a serious crime. You're raping, you're thieving, you're emptying the house, you're battering a family. That's a serious crime. Some of you may look at it as a petty crime. You know what's a petty crime? When you snatch someone's purse on the promenade and you run with it. That's a petty crime. Paula, good night.
Good night, Said. I'm calling from Tunapuna.
Welcome to Napuna.
Said, I have two issues I want to raise, and I'm craving you to give me a time to explain me two issues. One is with the Paula Guppy School. and the second one is with this whistleblower thing there, right? Let me start with Paula Gupi-Schoon. Paula Gupi-Schoon, you stated that it's a hullabaloo and whatnot. I just want you to remember this. Your son is before the court since the pandemic. It's a matter of violating the rules and regulations with a boat ride and having party and whatnot and things. And up to now, this matter can't be heard. You support that? Paula Gupi-Schoon? Whatever you went on to say about the Jindal family is a well-respected family and they have money, they're rich, and they could do this and they could not understand the wealth and the capability of the Jindal family and all this kind of thing. But would you bring corrupt people because you know what the allegation of this man? He had bribed government and high officials into getting what he wants. To understand this is a different thing. This is no ordinary thing. And as you rightfully say, so then we could go and bring Pablo Escobar from Colombia there. We could go and bring all kind of drug lord and criminal elements on them and sell them our main asset, our resource, the lifeblood of this country, the petrotrain. Yes, Paula Gupi-Schoon and them, and I want to say this. I am asking the question whether Jindal paid money to high officials in this government who were willing to sacrifice this country. The Minister of Energy, the Trade Minister, the Prime Minister, and what have you. Whether money was paid, I am not accusing them, you know. But this is the man's reputation of doing that. Now let me come to my second issue now, Saeed. You're praising Rai Ragbir for voting with the government, right? Let me tell you something. Do you know about the Witness Protection Act, Saeed? Are you listening to me, sir?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go right ahead.
Right. There is absolutely, because people who have come forward and give evidence into witness and people who commit serious crime, they cannot stay in no witness protection because there is no protection for them. And when they ask to get outside, they're being killed. Now you're coming with this whistleblower legislation. This is similar to that of the whistleblower, the crime protection thing. Because here it is, and Dr. Munira raised the issue. You're talking about whistleblower only, but it's just 2 days before that, the members of the board of the secondary road company, with $200 million was allocated for, and they never receive it, and you take it and put it in the Ministry of Works under this man, my name Sinanan. And eventually what you did, the next day, people who come out and spoke, the board members, you fire them. That was whistleblowers. So how the hell could you tell me about whistleblower? And you fire the people who blow the whistles on the secondary road thing and this $200 million. So you have to be real and understand what all you're talking about, you know. Because if Rai Ragbir and all his members, Pari and all of them could have voted with the government, they saw it fit. They have lawyers like Saddam Hussein and all of them understand the intricacies of such a decision, and that the government is hell-bent on hounding down the opposition, the media, and other people who are opposed to them. And they could simply arrest them and all kind of things. And they have the resources, the police and all of that. They have members of the judiciary and everything under control. So Saeed, when all you're making statement about Rai Ragbir on them. Rai Ragbir on them don't need to do that to embarrass the UNC. But I'll tell you something. He not only embarrassed the UNC, he embarrassed himself, and he has gone to the political graveyard because nobody will trust him. And more so being a doctor who take the Hippocratic oath to speak the truth and do what is just and right. And you have violated that. Nobody should trust him. Nobody should go by him for medical treatment and check-up on him because he is a man who could expose your privacy. That's what the thing is. So Saeed, don't tell me about you supporting Rai Ragbir. Rai Ragbir know the hell he was doing. And if you supporting that because you yourself didn't understand what this whole whistleblowing thing is about, and it comes just like similar to that of the Witness Protection Act. Because the police are protecting nobody. So let me fool yourself that if you're a whistleblower, you're going to have police protection and what other thing. Because as I say, the people under the other issue, they had no witnesses, no protection. When they
I do apologize, my friend. I do apologize. I understand what you're saying. Sorry, we have to cut you there. I do apologize for that. But I want you to understand something. The whistleblower bill was amended. They did over the bill. And they presented. You know, there were 3 or 4 others, other than Rai, supported that bill. Did you know that, caller? Now, I'll tell you something. The opposition leader supported the bail bill, but nobody to protect nobody when they come forward. Who protected me when I go forward? Nobody. Nobody protected me when I go forward. They say, well, you know what? John Doe commit a crime. But there are provisions in the bill now that Rice saw fit and others saw it fit to vote with the PNM. How many times did the Senate President turn down members of the UNC when the people of Trinidad and Tobago needed answer? How many times did she turn down UNC members from getting answer for Trinidad? Nobody is going to say nothing about that. Nobody is saying nothing about that. When answers were needed, when the PNM ministers were held accountable for answers, who protect them? Who protected them? Anna said George. Anna said George protected them. Nobody is going to say nothing about that. She protected the ministers from answering UNC questions. Nobody going to say nothing about that. But I am telling you tonight. Paula, good night.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Go right ahead, my friend.
So he's concerned that issue you're talking about the president of the House, right? Listen, when Kamala was the prime minister, she had the majority to change all of that, eh? But right, let me bypass that, right? I want to bring something to your attention real quick.
Talk to me.
Last year, when this property tax valuation started coming out, right? Somebody I know got a valuation for property, right? Listen to me very carefully, yeah? Under the 3% from the valuation division, the property valued $96,000 annual rental value, right? Listen to me very carefully, yeah? Board of Inland Revenue, right? The same person, weeks after, for the same property and value the property for $216,000. Same property, eh? Board of Inland Revenue, eh? Same exact property from $96,000 to $216,000 annual rental value, right? They dropped the percentage now from 3% to 2%.
To 2%.
So you get a letter today and send my pictures. You know how much the property value now?
How much?
$142,000 from the valuation division. So let me ask you a question, right? From 96,000, that 3% on the valuation division. Now you're going to 142,000 with 2% in the valuation division. Who's doing the maths inside here? I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Because the math's not adding up.
It would not add up.
And let me tell you something. They're not coming out and saying who is the people, where you're turning. If you have a problem, how you're contesting your valuation, who it is you're going to, what body you're going to contest this valuation of your property. People need to understand what is going on here.
Correct.
People need to reject this whole property tax that's coming in aside. But don't let me take up too much of your time. The last thing I want to talk about real quick is the refinery you're talking about, right? Listen to what I'm saying and listen to me very carefully, yes? Keep Rowley and the PNM close on the refinery. You know all this for closing it down, right? The fake oil scandal, and they try to hide that with all this money that they say they was pumping in the petrol and thing, right? So if you close on a whole refinery, send out everybody for 1 month. Why we can't sell that refinery to our next month? Regardless if we have allegations or not.
I understand what you're saying.
He is going to do it side, no matter what people say, the man going to get the refinery. And 2025 next election, people are going to put him back there.
Correct.
Anyway, you enjoy your night side.
Thank you, my friend. So Prasad Business has knocked the government off for taking too long, for changing it and bringing it back to Parliament. I'll listen to this.
The government has found it necessary in this last week of the session to hasten, slowly as they say, to come to Parliament today, Monday, giving us late notice on Friday of this bill for debate. And I guess in some ways we are playing catch-up because we are on the cusp of a general election. Why did you take 2 years? That judgment was handed down in July 2022. If you were so concerned about the public interest, if you were so concerned about fighting crime, and this was one of the measures that you want to use, why did you take 2 years in this last week of this session to come to the Parliament? Why? Tell us why.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, she said they waited. Now, listen to this.
And for the last 9 years, on 5 occasions, coming with bail amendments, they have not helped. They have not helped. What has changed? What has changed? It has not changed the state of play. And so whilst it is, we talk about proportionality and public interest and good governance, laws for good governance and so on, how, tell us please, is this piece of legislation going to help in reducing crime? Because we've tried this before, it hasn't worked, and here we're back again 30 years later with the same reasonings that we are dealing with since 1994.
Now, when they were in power, what they did? What did they do? Did they fix it? They left it. Criminals getting bail in and out. People who commit murder getting bail now. Now listen to this, what she had to say. Finally.
This association is unable to discern exactly what this means. And paragraph 11 says much the same analysis and conclusion would apply to persons falling within certain categories, but for the provision that a person falling within those categories may, in exceptional circumstances, make an application to a court for bail. I still need a purpose. Yeah. So they could make an application in exceptional circumstances. The association, I continue, is unable to discern exactly what this means. The phrase in exceptional circumstances is not defined, so it will be left for the judiciary to flesh out the circumstances in which it may depart from the prohibition against granting bail. Absent the creation of categories, a person will ordinarily be denied bail only where he or she is likely to abscond or commit an offense while on bail or interfere with witnesses. The bail prima facie prohibits the grant of bail even where there is no evidence that any of these things will happen.
The viewers, I have to say good night because of time, but tomorrow night, we're going to continue on this and you'll get a clearer picture on this. So until we meet again, good night.